So how's your week been?
How's my week been? My week has been pretty good. It's been that New Year's recovery period, so I've just been able to be really lazy at work, which has been nice.
I mean, tell them, not me. I mean, I've
Well,
been.
no, we live together.
Yeah, I don't actually care how your week was.
Well,
Exactly. I care.
how's my week been besides all the bits that I spent with you?
Yeah, like I do care, but what I mean. I care, but for the podcast, I don't care.
Oh, sorry, I was just actually answering your question.
Yeah. We were saying that we have 5 subscribers on YouTube.
We do have 5.
That is exciting.
First 5.
I feel like we should have done some effort to like shout them out or something. The first 5, the big 5.
You know who you are.
What have we done this week? What did we do this week?
Well, it was New Year's this week.
It was New Year's.
We watched Black Klansman.
We watched Black Klansman for New Year's, which is a tradition in this household. Every New Year's, we watch Spike Lee's Black Klansman.
The tradition of our New Year's is ignoring it.
We did ignore it. We did watch Black Klansman though.
I went to bed at 12:01.
No, we didn't go. Did we go to? No, we didn't.
You're not a New Year's gal.
I hate New Year's, to be honest with you.
I kind of like it. So the compromise is we get to stay up, pull the party poppers, and then it's straight to bed.
Because the thing is, I hate New Year's so much that the past couple of years, I have literally made a effort to go to bed before New Year's. Like, I just go to bed about 11 o'clock and I just sleep through all the celebrations. And I find that quite empowering, to be honest with you, because it's like me saying, no, I don't accept society's conventions of a new year.
Yeah,
I'm with the Chinese. I'm like...
What, an even longer New Year's?
No, but
the Chinese New Year's like a month.
But Chinese have that, like, there's Chinese New Year. Well, guess what? There's not just our New Year and Chinese New Year. There's also Jen's New Year. My New Year starts, I don't know, today.
You just want the clock to keep running
Yeah.
and it just never run out.
My New Year's is today. So yeah, but you know, I actually went to more effort this year than I've gone to in a long time. In that I stayed up.
We stayed up.
And I surprised you with...
Party poppers at midnight.
I bought a packet of party poppers.
I think you might have even had a glass of wine.
I didn't.
Oh.
I can tell you. I had a cup of tea, a very strong cup of tea, to see in the New Year's. I don't like New Year's. I just don't. I think it's a combination of different things. One of the main things is I think I just hate what New Year's represents. It's like, I think it's good and healthy to like assess the year and think about how you're going to improve going forwards and what you're going to do. I like that side of it, but I think that side of it also comes with a whole bunch of negativity of like, oh, what didn't I do this year and where am I and like all this kind of stuff, and I get a little bit like depressed about it. And also like my birthday, you know how people get depressed around their birthday?
Yeah, I'm like that.
Yeah, well, I used to, but I don't so much get depressed around my birthday. But New Year's is like, it's almost like more of a birthday than your birthday because everybody's doing it, you know, all at once. Also, I just don't like the things that people like to do for New Year. Like, I don't like the whole party for New Year thing. I wouldn't mind if it was more like a 1920s Great Gatsby-esque New Year's party with a big champagne fountain.
Well, we're in the roaring 20s now.
Well, I wish it was more like that.
I made a pizza for New Year's. You've not brought up the pizza I made?
Was that on New Year's that we had that pizza? It was good pizza. It was on New Year's. Yeah, I remember that. It was nice. I liked the pizza. We haven't made a pizza in a long time. We used to make them regularly.
Yeah.
But we haven't done that in a while. I don't know why. Oh, because we started buying them from M&S.
What was that? And I think it was the last few times, like, it hadn't quite worked enough. Well, I usually, like, moan about it.
It wasn't. It was that, but it was more serious than that. Actually, it was because. So listen, we got into a really good habit of making pizzas at home because obviously, like, they're healthier. I love pizza, so we had to find some kind of compromise, right? Otherwise, things were going to get bad. I demand at least 4 pizzas a week, so we were like, okay, we have to like make them. And we got into like a really good habit. We made some really good pizzas, didn't we? And actually, we kind of perfected it, but then we made one pizza that made us violently ill.
That was it, yeah.
I don't know what it was. There was something that we did.
I think it was the dough because we'd made a few like quick ones that we'd not needed and risen enough. Because when I do it, if I've got the time, I do it twice.
Yeah.
And we hadn't been doing that. We'd just been doughing. And I think it's not developed properly. So that's the thing with like gluten and stuff like that. It's difficult to.
But I don't think it was anything to do with what you're just saying. Because it wasn't like a digestion issue. It wasn't like the dough's, but it was like I'm sick.
Yeah, that's a digestion issue, though.
What? No, it isn't.
Well, it is. If your body can't break it down, it's going to reject it.
Well, it did reject it.
It did reject it.
Let's just agree on that. For whatever reason, Albert, we don't know exactly why. The test results haven't come back yet. We can't say for sure whether it was anything to do with gluten or if I feel like it was some kind of poison that went in there.
Yeah.
Some kind of bug or something. A poisonous bug went in.
Well.
But either way, it's one of those things where we had such a bad experience that it put us off not off pizza, let's not go crazy. But but we decided, we were like, okay, we thought we'd figured this out. Let's put it into the hands of M&S for a bit. Let them look after us. And before anyone says anything, it's not like we shop at M&S.
Well, we do kind of.
No, we don't. We don't.
Well, we don't. Let's say.
No. To say we shop at M&S would insinuate that we do our shop.
No, we don't
M&S.
do the big shop at M&S.
But there is an M&S right opposite us.
We live on a high street with a Co-op and an M&S, and the price imbalances of both are extreme. Like M&S's remarkable value range is very good value, and then everything else is extortionate. And then Co-op, some things are good value, and everything else now is extortionate. And if you kind of marry the two,
you gotta marry the two.
They get closer.
And obviously, and we basically, okay, look, just to lay it out all on the table, if this is going to be an honest podcast, we do our regular shop at Sainsbury's. There's a big Sainsbury's near us, but it's a bit too far away for like an impromptu, like, let's go get a pizza.
Yeah.
But
it's not for bits.
No, but so, and then we were like, okay, well, Co-op will be our place for that.
Yeah.
And there was this pizza deal in Co-op that I thought was like pretty decent, but it went away. But there's this regular pizza deal in M&S, and this is probably we're going to have a big punch-up argument on the podcast. I happen to think it's one of the best like supermarket pizzas I've had. You get 2 pizzas, 2 sides for £12.
Yeah.
It's good value, better value than a takeaway. The sides are really like generous and good.
Yeah. Well, I like they've got like jalapeno popper things.
Jalapeno poppers, like what you get in Burger King.
And then they've also got like nuggets that are like posh nuggets.
Posh nuggets.
Where they're spherical, not flat.
Nuggets. And you can get like mozzarella sticks if you want.
You can.
And the pizzas I think are good. I think they're nice pizzas. But and this guy here thought they were nice for like 6 weeks.
No.
And then one week he was like, I don't like them anymore.
No, allow me to. Like, alright, it's not that I don't. I think supermarket pizzas are bad, regardless. They're the best of the bad ones, but ultimately, I don't think they hold. But I think the thing is, I don't know if I.
What are you saying?
I don't think anything tastes of anything.
Well, that sounds like a you problem.
Yeah, it is. I think.
Well, then don't bring that into my life.
Well, you moved me into your life, so
I can't. I can't taste anything. Well, what about me? I want a pizza.
Well, you have a pizza then.
Okay, well, I'll start buying that deal. Because the thing is about that deal, right, is 2 pizzas and 2 sides is the deal. So if he decides he doesn't like it anymore, that means I don't get to have it anymore. Because when am I going to buy it all for myself?
You can buy 1 pizza and 1 side.
No, you can't.
I mean, no, I'm saying you could do it.
No, I tell you what I could do, actually, now that I think about it, is I could buy it. No, not dump you. That's plan B. But plan A, there's still a plan A, which is I just buy it, put one in the freezer.
Yeah.
Fine.
Speaking of pizza and things I've been doing this week, just because it's here, can I bring in queering my pizza into this? Because I've been fermenting a sourdough starter.
Well, hold on, don't show it off.
What? I mean, it looks like shit. It's just fermented.
Bring it. Come on, let them see.
Well, it looks horrible right now.
What's its name?
Oh, I'm not doing that.
No, come on, let me see it. I haven't actually had a proper look at it. It looks a bit wet.
Yeah, well, it's meant to be just flour and water. It's not like...
Is that all a sourdough starter is?
Well, it's like bubbly, so like the bacteria like ferments and stuff. This actually looks a bit gross. I think this has gone wrong.
How
It's,
so?
it's like started to separate a bit. It doesn't look right.
So you fucked it.
A little bit. Well, I don't know, but it's not going to look like that. It was looking great yesterday, and now it's gone too far. But there's like infinite bread and dough products once that thing's up and running.
Right.
But I think it's failed. But then I can sourdough pizzas. Then we can have another podcast called Queering My Pizza.
But why is it so wet?
Because it's I think it's starting to separate. Where does sourdough lie? It seems we're categorising everything.
No, we're not.
Here we are. This podcast stops when things stop.
Where does sourdough lie on the spectrum? I feel like a sourdough starter is quite a straight thing because it kind of feels like
it's there with an air fryer.
It's there with an air fryer. The reason why it's quite a straight thing is because it's like it's the thing that Dad does after watching the cooking show.
Oh, see, I think it's quite trad wifey.
Well, it's both. Trad Dad. It's not Trad Dad.
No, no one wants a trad dad. God, trad dad is never in the house and just drinks and smokes near the children.
You don't see that, do you, Trad Dad?
No, because
if they were fully honest with themselves, they wouldn't want their child to get like lung cancer.
Well, exactly. Like trad dad is like
Trad Dad's dead in the war. That's true, isn't it? Because you see all these trad wives, trad mums, like, oh, like I'm getting up really early to make hand make yogurt from scratch for my baby, or like, oh, I'm like, what else do they do? Like, well,
it's like I'll make everything from scratch. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna bake cookies. So I'm gonna forge some iron to make a baking tray.
And then you don't ever see like her going to the mailbox, opening it, and like reading the letters from war from from Trad Dad. Trad Dad is smoking a pipe. He's got those pajamas on, and he's got a little fez on. he's got a martini glass, and he's gone out to pick up his newspaper from the lawn.
Well, you said that about trad dad pajamas. I mean, I'm not that far off at the minute.
No, you bought some Trad Dad pajamas.
I've got some because Jane got me a robe for Christmas. I wanted like a. How would you describe it? Like,
how did you describe it? You described it as like woke Hugh Hefner.
Yeah, that is what I described.
Yeah, which is a good description.
So it's like a long red gowny robe thing, and then
no, that makes it sound like you're a geisha or something. It was not like a long robe. Or something.
It's down to my ankles.
But it's just like it's
like,
a
long red silk robe.
Yeah, it's not silk.
It looks like silk.
Yeah,
it's shiny material.
It's not silk. I didn't buy a silk robe for you.
Oh.
Sorry to burst the bubble. That's
not silk. Did you keep the receipt?
They don't do receipts down the market.
But then some like conservative striped pajamas, like as in a shirt and trousers, one, and I capped it off with some Homer Simpson slippers.
But so anyway, yeah. So you made a pizza on New Year's Eve, and then on New Year's Day, what did we do?
How did we not bring Nosferatu?
We went to go see Nosferatu. It was great. I loved it. I loved Nosferatu. I thought it was one of the... do you know what? It's the best film I've seen this year. I'll tell you that much. It was on the 1st of January, and it's the best film I've seen all year.
I mean, I'd agree, but...
No, it was good, though,
it was brilliant. I mean, I think in December, I'll probably still think that's one of the best ones. I loved it, like, start to finish. It was great. Yeah, I mean...
Oh, it was dead creepy, wasn't it? Oh, wasn't it very creepy and gothic?
It was very gothic.
It was creepy, though, I thought. Because, like, the way that they did Nosferatu, Count Orlok, was, he was like, he was massive. I don't want to give too many spoilers, but he's like a big, imposing, weird presence. But he's also, like, quite ghoulish and quite, like, spectral. Like, he can move around and sit in chairs and, like...
He can sit in chairs.
No, not that he can sit in chairs, but like he can, like if there's a table, he can get in the chair without moving the chair. You know, when the camera's off him, he moves seemingly like 50 feet. You know, like that's his. Yeah, you know what I mean.
That's his power, not that he can like go into
Your dreams
and do all this. No, he can sit down.
Yeah, because it's annoying.
He can put his feet up.
Well, it's annoying when you hear those big chairs scrape across the floor. He can get in it without doing that.
He can put his feet up, which is something that I think is a superpower in the modern age.
But it was good. It was good. Nosferatu. I like Robert Eggers. I'm a big egghead.
Don't let me start this again.
So we went to the cinema in Brixton to go and see Nosferatu. And yeah, it was weird because how long was the film? It was like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't mind when people need to go to the toilet in the cinema. Like, that's fine. I'm frequently am that person. Like, it's annoying, like, when you see it in your peripheral vision, but I'm pretty good at, like, getting over it. Like, it's fine, you need to go to the toilet. But this is something that's never, ever happened to me before in the cinema, where I feel like, other than us... In fact, our row was very well behaved. Like, the people sitting next to us to the left were brilliant. People sitting to the right of us were pretty good. But everyone else, it feels like and it was a full screen. Everyone got up at least once to go to the toilet. And some people got up like 3 or 4 times. I don't know what happened. I don't know if everyone had just drunk too much the night before. But it was like immersion destroying.
Yeah. It was annoying.
Because it's like, you're trying to watch this cool thing, which is quite, quiet movie.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, the door, like, squeakiest door in the world. And then this guy who kept going out to go to the toilet went out like 3 times. Every time he would come back in, he would then suddenly he feels self-conscious. Like, it's like then when he would come in, he wouldn't go and sit back down straight away. He would do that thing where he's like waiting for an opportune moment in the film, and he would like stand at the back like that watching it, like, yeah, so I'm aware that I'm annoying, but I'm still going to be annoying.
Yeah.
Do you know what I think, actually? I think it's because there's a lot of like TikTok discourse at the moment about Nosferatu. There's a lot of people... No, it's true. There's a lot of like young people going to see Nosferatu, and there's a lot of young people which is great, who are like jumping on because it's like a weird, sexy movie, and everyone needs to like everything needs to be brat now, and everyone and now there's like a whole meme, and don't get me wrong, I'm not hating on it. I love all that stuff. It's funny, like all the kind of like Nosferatu is hot kind of stuff. I feel like a lot of young people are going to see Nosferatu, and they're bad audience. They should like, oh, I'm so sorry. It's not TikTok. I'm so sorry that you have to sit there for 2 hours. Piss before.
They should have a special screening where they do Subway Surfers next.
They should have a special screening where everyone's allowed to dance.
Look, it does feel a bit silly. It's like, people need to piss, but like, grow up. Hold your bladder.
No, but this is the thing. I don't think anyone should hold it. Like, I hate the feeling of needing to go to the toilet. It's the worst. It's like horrible. When you feel self-conscious about it as well, it's terrible. It's like, no, sometimes people can't hold it, and I appreciate that. But it was just weird that like everyone independently needed to go to the toilet in that screen. I've never seen that before. At 1 minute, I was thinking, am I on candid camera over here? Is Jeremy Beadle gonna be around?
I'm very bitter about it because I needed to pee for like a good hour of that film, but I was like, this is just too much. I don't want to be... You
don't want to contribute to the
this. Yeah, exactly. And we were in the back row. We were like the highest impact of this.
Because we have to see everybody.
Yeah. And the door goes and it's the light.
Let me say this. The film was so good that it managed to still be good despite all of that. But I do feel like I need to see it again without...
a toilet present.
Without the thinking about piss all the time. It's not called Pissferatu, is it?
It should be called Pissferatu.
So it's time now for a cultural exchange. The queer thing that I showed you this week, in order to queer you and teach you a little something about queer culture, was the TV series Real Housewives of, what is it?
Beverly Hills.
Beverly Hills. And the reason I'm not sure is because I've seen a couple of these. Yeah, but this one's Real Housewives of Beverly Hills that I showed you. If you don't know what Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is, it's a show, a reality TV show about real housewives.
Of Beverly Hills.
They live in Beverly Hills and they get in arguments and they go on holiday and then
They
get
shop.
They get in arguments about going on holiday. And
they have Botox.
They do, and it's high drama. What did you think?
Well, the thing is, like, we have been searching for kind of like some high drama trash TV.
Yeah.
The thing is, I know, because I know enough about the show and I've seen enough of those kind of shows to know it will be good, but what we have watched of it, we've watched 4 or 5 episodes of this thing.
We've watched 5, I think.
And the main plot of it is... You know what, try and explain the plot, because I still don't understand what all the 5 episodes have been about.
So basically, so the ladies are in a big kind of argument because one of these ladies, Lisa Vanderpump, she has lots of businesses. She has restaurants. She also has a dog place where you can
Vanderpump Dogs.
Vanderpump Dogs, and basically one of her friends got a dog from Vanderpump Dogs. The dog was attacking them. Bit her husband's face.
Yeah, she keeps saying bit her kids, but then it's bit her husband, and then
we have to take that it bit everyone. Okay, it's a challenging dog. Anyway, so then she gave the dog away to a friend. I think
a trusted woman,
a trusted acquaintance, and then she took the dog to a shelter, which they're saying is like a kill shelter. So then Vanderpump is upset about that because she never came to her about the dog. So you follow that, right? But then there's this extra layer of like, but why is Lisa Vanderpump still going on about it? Like when they're on holiday and like they thought they'd already like buried it and apologized and all this kind of stuff, but she's still going on about it. And the argument is just like progressing. And then so like there are like factions dividing amongst the women about who's like in the wrong.
There's a conspiracy going on.
There's a conspiracy. The texts have been printed out. There's like twists. That's why. But that's what the program is about. It's about these like tiny little minutiae, like ridiculous things. It's like being blown out of proportion. That's the point of it.
It's just the dog plot. I don't give a fuck. It's like it's so like small and complicated and like dumb, and I know that's what the thing. I don't know. It's not a plot. I'm not a dog person. Like I don't care about the dog.
But you don't have to care about the dog.
Well, I think what the problem is, they're still banging on about something that is clearly in like a previous series where like the seed of this was planted.
Yeah. Because we thought we were watching series 1 of it, but actually we're watching like series like 9 of it, because Netflix does this thing where they're like, well, they don't buy the whole season. So, or it's like...
Well, they all share them amongst streaming services. It's like really annoying.
So we don't know what season we're actually on, but we know that we thought it was season 1 until they started being like, well, 3 years earlier this happened. So we don't know. We don't know about the history of the dog, and we don't know necessarily about all of these ladies' histories. But the point is, the dog plot aside, what do you make of it as a piece of programming?
Well, the thing is, why I brought up the dog thing is because this plot line I'm not into. I'm like over it, but I know the juice is somewhere. I know further down the line that the fruit will become riper.
Me and Derek, we were watching Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, and it's a shame that we're not watching that, because we could, it's on there, but like that has like that's a slightly newer one than this one that we're watching. The one we're watching now is like I think it's like the original one.
Yeah, it's like the classic.
Yeah, so it has this like long pedigree in it, and I do love the characters in it, but Salt Lake City is quite deranged because it's got, I mean, like they're Mormons, and some of them are like ex-Mormon, and there's this whole element of it of like, there's this one character in it, Mary, and she's like dating she's like married to like her own like grandparent, and like or something like that. It's wacky, like it's really wacky, and the arguments they get in are like just as like nutso, but I don't know. There's a different kind of vibe to it, you know, different layer.
I like it like deranged. Like I like.
It's got Jen Shaw in it, who's in prison right now.
Why?
Like it's like financial like abuse.
I like the woman that looks like a fish.
I like the woman who looks like the fish as well. Who's she?
You know those ones. I think she's not called. I don't know what she's called.
I know who you're talking about. The one with the short hair.
Yeah,
she's my favourite one. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's got tits like up to here, and she's great. But see, but this is the other thing. This is the other reason why I really like it, because it's just like a visual feast. It's why I like Made in Chelsea and like Towie and stuff. Even though I don't actively watch it. I used to watch a little bit of like Towie, but it's just they just all look so unique.
What makes it queer culture?
It's just campus tits, isn't it? At the end of the day, what more is? I don't want to get too theoretical with this.
No,
I didn't write an essay.
We
about
did the
it.
philosophy of the Muppets last.
Yeah, like I didn't write an essay about it. I think it's undeniable. I mean, like the gays love Real Housewives because it's like it's just ridiculous, isn't it? It's like this is okay. So here's the thing: it's not. There's this weird division, I think, actually, that comes with like straight culture and gay culture a lot, which is the same thing that you get with like John Waters stuff, for example.
You're just about to bring him up.
Yeah, because what I'm going to say is that like reality TV, you hear a lot of people rail against like reality TV as like, oh, but it's so obviously fake, or like it's so stupid or whatever. It's like, how do you believe this? It's like, no, like no one believes it. Like you're stupid for thinking that like we believe it. Like we just love it. Like it doesn't matter if like we know that it's only like half truths or even like quarter truths. We know that it's contrived. We know that it like, but it's entertaining. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I like the artifice. I like artifice. You know, I think the world is too. I'm not looking for like ultimate, complete, objective truth in the things that I consume.
Yeah, it's no, I mean I hate that kind of sort of that snobby is like, oh, it's trash, and it's like it's I don't see why it's not like it's aspiring to be intellectual and like failing at that. It's just it you know, it's like gossip, and it's televised gossip, and gossip is fun.
It's like when people see a biopic or a historical adaptation, and they go, actually, that never actually happened. Actually, I've read a biography on that, and that didn't actually happen. It's like, yeah, it's a film.
You know, I've been around a lot of people who've like, they do it's not really real, but it's just a different genre of drama.
Because a lot of these housewives, they don't even actually know each other. That's the other funny thing.
Oh yeah, they like
about
audition for it.
Well, it's like they make out that like they're all neighbours or that like they're all friends, but they're not. There's like maybe 3 of them are, and then the other ones are just like yeah, they're just like there in the show. They're just like these ladies. I don't think regularly have 12 like headed dinners. Like they don't go out for dinner all together just so they can argue. We should have been watching from series 1 to know who they actually are.
We should have got in at the ground floor.
Yeah, that's the problem. Speaking of the ground floor, well, not the ground floor, but like lower than that, even lower than the ground floor. What did you get me to watch this week? What's your straight pick for the week?
My straight pick is a classic from the straight Criterion closet of Das Boot.
Das Boot.
The Boat.
I thought it was called The Boot.
The Boot?
I did think it was called The Boot.
It's called The Boat.
I didn't know that boot meant boat in German.
I'll be honest with you, neither did I until the English title screen came on.
Can I tell you the actual truth of what I thought before I'd seen the film? What I thought the film was? I thought it was something to do with Italy. I actually did. I've never seen it, so I didn't know what it was about at all. I've never seen it, so I thought it was about Italy. You know how Italy.
You didn't know it was like to do with the war or Nazis or.
I didn't.
No.
Well, I thought it might have been.
Yeah.
but it still could be about Italy. They are involved. So I thought it was about, you know how like Italy is shaped like a boot
And the Nazis wear boots.
and the Nazis wear boots. That's what I thought it was about.
Yeah.
What made you want to show that to me?
Well, because I really like it. I think it's I think it's an overlooked film.
I thought it was quite successful.
Well, it's famous, but this is what we're talking about. Like, it's one of those films that's really famous, but I don't think it's carried on in like the culture.
Okay, so just for the people who might not, let's be real. Like most people listening to this podcast are probably going to be queer. Explain what Das Boot is. They don't know.
Well, it's a film following a Nazi submarine in World War II, and I mean, so it's like about the sort of humanity of war, not about the humanity of the Nazis.
See, this was my first red flag when we were watching it. I was like, okay, so this is the straight film that you want me to see. It is a film in which you follow a group of Nazis in a World War II submarine, and you're supposed to like and get on board with the Nazis.
Yeah, I mean, they've very much like softened the Nazi edges of them in the film. So like the setup of it is, it's like Germany's navy isn't good, they're bad, and I don't know if like they're. No, this is pre like the Enigma stuff being like cracked. Anyway, the German fleet keeps getting like battered by British forces, and they keep sending them out in these submarines or U-boats as they call them, and they kind of. It's like some of the crew sort of know what the deal is. Like the captains know that they're going not necessarily to their death, but it's not like the propaganda's. From their perspective, the propaganda's kind of failing, so they can kind of see how inferior they are. Thing, and it's just a really like tense film. Everything's really claustrophobic and like sweaty and gross, and it's made with like you know they lose the war. I don't know if that's a spoiler.
Well, the Nazis lost
the Nazis war. Lost World War II.
They lose the war, yeah.
Yeah, so the reason I like it, and it's like an ongoing thing in our relationship, is I wouldn't say this is like a stressful film. I remember it being stressful watching it yesterday, so this isn't as stressful as I thought it would. But I like a really kind of like tense thing, and big things like the submarines dive and there's a lot of pressure, and these kind of like not badly built submarines, but you feel it all like creaking and popping together, and everything's really cramped.
Well, I didn't get the impression it was a badly built submarine. I got the impression it was trying to say it was a really well built submarine, because they were going so deep, much deeper than it was designed to go, and it was somehow withholding. They only went that deep because they had to.
Yeah, no, I misspoke. It's not like a badly thing. It's just their fleet is like inferior, but they like plummet to the depths of the ocean, and then it all, it's a good film with like chaos and order, and I like that.
What do you mean?
Well, like, the outside's chaos, but obviously they're like a strict army boys. Everyone's got their jobs. It's bros doing bro stuff.
Well, let me say this. I liked the film. I thought it was really good. It's a good film. It's one of those films that it is tense. It is claustrophobic. It does build in a satisfying way. It's definitely a really well made movie. It's like there's a lot of money been spent on it. I think if you like films like Titanic or whatever that are big, like nautical odyssey. It's not an odyssey, but like a big nautical kind of statement piece drama. It is that. It's action packed, but I would never watch that. Like that's a film that I like. Just reading the blurb for it, like, I'm not really big into like war films like that. I would not have watched it, so I'm glad I watched it.
I quite like a war film.
It depends. I've never been one of those people that's like, I like a war film or I like a western. I like some stuff in that really bloated genre. Like there's like millions of war films. Like you can't just watch a war film. You need a little bit of what's the word?
I don't know. Quality control.
Yeah, quality control. You need to know.
I'm trying to like really quantify why like I just find it so like engaging.
You like it because there's no dames, okay? There's no stupid women around, okay? You like it because it's just boys being boys, sweating it up in a metal tube, as far away from those nagging ladies as possible, right 300 million feet down.
Give me your queer reading on Das Boot.
My queer reading? I don't have a queer. There's not much queer. I mean, well,
Why do you think the straights like the war so much?
I think the straights like the war so much because that's how they wish things were. I think straight men have no sense of identity anymore. They don't know what they're for. The only thing they're for is to go in a submarine and get killed. And they wish things were simple like that again, so they could go down and get blown to bits for a reason. That being said, I was a bit surprised at first when you were like, "Oh, this is my this is my submission for a piece of straight media." Yeah, it's about the Navy.
Yeah.
It's about a bunch of sweaty men in a metal tube sucking each other off for Queen and Country, or rather the Führer.
Well, that's basically my own view on my sexuality. Of this is straight, but like it's I mean, there was like a lot of greasing the pumps.
There's a lot of hydraulics. There's a lot of greasing pumps. There's a lot of men hugging in it.
Yeah, but men can hug. They've been at war. They've been through some stuff.
That's what the film taught me. The film taught me it's okay to be... Well, that's what the Navy is all about.
Men would rather go to war against England than go to therapy.
But that's what the Navy is all about, isn't it? It's about finding a reason to be allowed to be gay. It's like we've accepted that all these guys are gay. Or they're all gay, but they're like, well, we have to be...
We have to start a war.
No, not we have to start a war, but we have to be completely isolated before we engage in gay shit. It's only okay to be physically gay with each other if you are literally like this far down in the ocean. In fact, you know what it's like? You know what it's like, actually? It's like, you know when people go out to sea to like gamble, because there's no like gambling laws, or they go and have a dogfight like out in the middle of the ocean. You know when it's like, because it's like a Badlands or no man's land or whatever. During World War II, the only time it was socially allowed to like suck men to suck each other off was you had to be like nearly dead down the bottom of the ocean. You have to be like right on death's door.
You have to be on the seabed.
You have to be on the seabed, ready to suck.
There's not actually that much homoeroticism in Das Boot.
I don't know. There is a little bit of homoeroticism in it, but you're right. There's not as much as there could have been.
There should have been.
There's not as much as there should have been. Well, it did almost feel like there should have been, like... Because, like, let's be real. The Navy has the reputation for a reason.
Yeah.
Like, there was homoeroticism. Well, there was homosexuality in the war.
But in the Nazi side of it?
Of course! But Das Boot was good. It was good, and I liked it. I probably won't ever watch it again, because it was a bit long.
It is a bit long.
Hello? It's a bit long,
it's long, hard, full of semen.
Exactly.
An U-boat.
An U-boat. What do you think that the U in U-boat stands for?
Underwater.
Do you actually? Well, I know water is Wasser. Unterwasser.
The Unterwasserboat.
A lot of German words are just English words, but said weird. Like water, Wasser, bread, Brot.
That's why they love us when we go abroad.
Yeah. The Wasser. You know, I did German on Duolingo for a couple of months.
Oh, yeah.
Die Frau trinkt das Wasser.
The lady drinks the water.
Exactly. Die Frau trinkst de Wasser. Das Brot. That's the sequel. Yeah, I do get, though, why you chose it as a straight film, I guess. Because it is the kind of film, like you said this yesterday, it's the kind of film that, like, dads watch. It's one of those ones that's like, oh, dad's watching Das Boot again.
Yeah.
Dad's watching Zulu again.
Yeah. But it's actually good.
It is good.
It's just got a bad rap because it has that connotation.
I begrudgingly say that it is good.
Mm.
Not good enough for me to consider going and becoming straight.
No.
Not good enough for me to admit that straight people have culture. It's an outlier. The thing about Das Boot is I did enjoy it, but I did find it difficult to empathise with the Nazis.
I don't think it's asking you to, though. I think it's humanising them to a point to make it watchable, because you aren't going to care if they're all doing, like, Nazi stuff 100% of the time.
No.
I think it is making a wider point about war and conflict and the loss of life and the people who go to war to die for...
Yeah,
you know, and it's I like those films about World War II that are sort of in the sort of towards the end of it, where like they speak about this in the film, like, well, a lot of the film is kind of about them knowing that the propaganda machine is failing.
Yeah,
Germany is failing.
Yeah, they're like regretful Nazis, isn't it?
They are. They know some of them are quite aware they're probably going to their deaths to die for something that they don't really. I'm not going to say they don't believe in anymore, but they kind of know is failing.
Well, that's what I would say. That's a film where... That's a point where I think the film is a bit dishonest. In that, like, I think it presents the guys in the sub as being a bit more like... You know, they're all singing It's a Long Way to Tipperary and all this kind of shit. And it's a little bit like, oh, but they're the good ones.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's trying to get you to...
It is because it wants you to like them for the purposes of the film.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think on like a practical level, to tell this story, they have to be somewhat empathetic.
But see, this is the thing that, like, as a queer person, that I struggle with is like, I find war stuff kind of boring. Like all of like the conventions and the sort of like discussion about it and like, but you love it, yeah.
I don't know what it is. I can't. I don't know why.
You like the uniforms, don't you?
I'm not going down this road.
But what is it though? What is it about the war that you find so interesting? Because to me, war is bad.
The rules of play, the jobs,
oh my god,
the commands, the strategy, it tickles me in a way. I'm not quite sure why.
That's what I don't get.
I don't want to go to war. I don't want to be anywhere near a war.
Let me ask you a question. Would you get enjoyment out of building a model plane?
I feel this is a trick question.
I think you would.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Well, that was another episode of Queering My Boyfriend. Do you feel like you have been queered in any more of a way?
No, it's my exterior is still
hardened
as it was next week.
And do I feel like I have been straightened in any way? Not really. No, not at all. Anyway, let's try again next week with 2 fresh things.